One of the hardest things about getting into the IT and cybersecurity industry is finding out which is the best pathway to get in, where's the best place to get jobs, what's the best way to stack up your education and certifications in order to get that dream job that you want. Well, in today's TCP Handshakes chat, we're going to be talking with somebody who has all the answers for that. Hey everybody, what's good? What's going on? JB here with another CyberInsight video. Really excited to bring you another TCP Handshakes chat between me and one of my friends from Twitter named Beez. You might be familiar with some of her work. She has all different types of content out there helping folks get into government contracting, specifically doing overseas work. She also has a book that she published on Amazon about financial literacy. She has so many different lanes that she's in, putting out awesome content, helping folks out. So I'm really thankful and excited to have her on the chat today. Before we jump into that, please make sure you smash that like, subscribe, and notification bell. That way you don't miss out whenever I drop any new content on the channel. And let's get into the chat with Beez. Just want to thank you again for, taking out the time to come on here. So I've been doing this TCP Handshakes show that we just kind of kicked off. And the whole idea was to bring on different people from the IT and cyber fields, kind of talk about their experiences, their stories, some lessons or recommendations they have for various things, whether it's, from the education perspective or from the job perspective or, work-life balance, all that type of stuff, all the different things that we've all had to, juggle over the course of our careers and kind of, hopefully have a good conversation and, have something of value that people find entertaining and useful.
Yeah.
Most of the people that probably will be watching this probably have some idea of who you are, since most of the people that come to my channel kind of come through my Twitter and stuff like that. And so people know you as capital SB or capital_SB on Twitter. You have a whole bunch of different lanes that you're navigating all at the same time, whether it's, your best-selling book on Amazon or your Gifitize app. I think you even started a new financial management. Well, management might not be the right word, but a group for people where you're kind of giving out different types of advice and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm launching that soon. I'm launching that in December. So it's going to be, I kind of pivoted some. So it's going to be just a membership, but now it's going to be like a group coaching program.
Okay.
So that way I feel like it'll be people who are more committed and will work for a longer amount of time.
Is that, you're expecting that to kind of be I guess, what's your desired participant in that? Is that somebody who's going to be in there for 6 months, or is it longer than that? Or shorter than?
Yeah, so somebody who's going to be in there for at least 6 to 12 months, because my main goal for the group coaching program is to get the person from where they are now to making $100K a year at least, or either just if they're already making 6 figures, making more than 6 figures and investing their money, just learning how to get to financial freedom. So that's going to be my main goal.
So, you have all this stuff, which is awesome. And then on top of that, you're in IT and have been in IT and are working on your graduate degree at Johns Hopkins, which is awesome. And I'm going to knock on wood that finishes up here shortly for you, right? I think you said you were working on your capstone, right?
Yeah. So right now I'm in my, I have one course left, cloud computing, which has been pretty good. And then I'm going to start working on my capstone. So I need to finish my proposal and then actually start working on the actual capstone project. And then I should be wrapped up in May.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's a good size capstone, 6 months.
Yeah. So I'm just giving myself extra time because I had so much going on. So honestly, I'm supposed to finish in December, but I was just I'm swamped. There's no way I can finish this now.
So how do you feel that you juggle all of that? Because going to grad school is hard enough by itself, right? And then
it's hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's very hard. The main reason why I was able to finish as much as I did was because I was still overseas, where I didn't really have. We were at work all the time, but we weren't actually doing any work. So
Right.
when I was overseas in Taiwan, we were mainly just, you're out there, and if the system goes down, you have to fix it.
Gotcha.
But the system hardly ever went down. So we really only did work in Taiwan like once a month,
So
like literally like once a month. So
it was a
it
perfect
was,
opportunity for people who are trying to either stack certs or take classes.
yeah. So you can stack a bunch of certs, or you can get your masters, or just get a regular bachelor's, whatever you need to do. You have plenty of time overseas. You should have, honestly, like nothing but time. I don't care what you do overseas. There's like just the nature of it. You
Sure.
have a ton of time.
It's either that, play video games, or go and work out.
Yep, yeah. When I was in, so that's when I was always like the most disciplined and just on a schedule when I was overseas, because just get off work, go to the gym, while I'm at work on anything I have going on, schoolwork,
Yep.
outside stuff, whatever I need to do. Have enough time to finish everything.
Yep.
So it's just great. I think it's a perfect situation. Anybody who wants to go overseas to be an overseas contractor, you can do 3 years and it literally changes your life.
Yeah. So that was kind of, for me, like when I was in the military, I was in the Air Force, that's kind of the same culture that was like, in the offices that I worked in, was whenever there was something that broke or needed to be fixed, that would be, when you actually have to do real work. But the rest of the time, it was, it was encouraged for you to actually be taking classes or working on certs and stuff like that. And so
Right, exactly.
it's a little bit, I don't know, a different mindset than kind of a lot of other workplaces, which, you're expected to be there at your desk doing what other
Yeah, doing
BS they
busy
want you
work.
to do the whole time.
Yeah. So, and that's the main thing that I liked about being overseas. Is just everybody knew. I think everybody in the community overseas knows. You're here, and as long as you get your work done, that's all that matters. When it's time to work, as long as you're ready to work, it's pretty much all they care about. But besides that, everybody overseas is pretty laid back because most people are prior military.
Right.
So
Sure.
everybody's super laid back. I mean, like in Taiwan, people were playing video games at work.
Sure.
Actual bringing the entire systems in at work. So whenever we weren't working, they were just playing video games all night, all day.
We used to
So
do the same thing. We'd sneak in Xboxes and network them together with some switches. And then, in a lot of those larger IT offices and stuff like that, you'd have the flat screens and stuff like that you might be using for
yeah,
monitoring tools. But at night, when there's nobody there, you're not really worried about that. And you can just, switch it over to whatever. I got really good at
right.
Halo when I was in the Air Force.
Yeah. You can start a local Xbox Live party.
Yep. So in you doing that, I mean, one of the other things that you really share a lot of information with, and you've put out some awesome content on that, is trying to point people towards that direction of the contracting and overseas contracting. And you
Yeah.
doing that, it's kind of unique from the perspective of you not coming from having a military background, right? So has there
Yeah,
been,
everybody assumes that I'm ex-military, and I'm just like, I've
right?
never been in the military.
So has there been any, I don't know, cultural challenges and things like that for you as far as doing that type of work and being in those environments, but not necessarily coming from the background that, most of the other folks that are in the overseas
Honestly,
contracting come from?
no, not really. I don't know if it's because my dad did 20 years in the Air Force.
Mm,
Like I didn't live with him growing up, but I
yeah.
was with him every single weekend. But I mean, I don't know if that helped out. I think the biggest thing to get used to is all the acronyms. When it comes to government and military, it's just a ton of acronyms. So you're
Sure.
always asking, like, what are you talking about? What's this acronym mean? So
Yep.
everything's just second nature for everybody. So that's really it. And then with the position that I have now, I'm literally embedded with the branch that I'm working with.
Hmm.
So I'm embedded in with their unit. So it's very different, being with the different commanders and lieutenants and stuff like that, just trying to learn the ranks. We're really close. We work really closely together. So that's the big difference for me right now. It's just kind of navigating with working with the military and seeing how they work.
Yep.
If they say they're ready to go, it's time to go. So we're not on our time, we're on their time.
Yeah, right. Most definitely. Have you found any difference between working stateside and working overseas, or do you find that kind of, since you have the same type of clients in both places, the culture is kind of similar?
Yeah, culture is pretty much similar just because so when I went overseas initially I was in Japan for 18 months, and the program that I'm on now is basically the same exact program.
Oh, okay.
Except for there are only 4 people on our team versus there being like 25 overseas.
Yeah.
So it's just 4 of us. So it's just me, I'm the engineer.
Yep.
There's a site manager, there's a maintenance lead, and we have a logistician, and that's it. So that's the main difference.
Do you
But
end up doing a lot of work that interacts with the customer doing technical work as well, or is it pretty much you guys are all handling the technical work and kind of the customer is just there for oversight?
yeah, we pretty much handle the technical work, and the customer they're not really there for oversight. Like I said, we work together. So like recently we did a software upgrade. So we work together. I perform the software upgrade, and then they're there just kind of like they bring the system up. Anything going on with the system, they're going to be fixing it. They're going to fix the actual system when it comes to like the power or anything like that, like the cooling system. So they're there to interact with that. But outside of that, it's mainly just me doing the work. I'm performing the work, and they actually do the operations. So that's pretty much how it works now. We don't do any operations. We do all like maintaining and software upgrades and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think we talked about this a little bit before. Your undergraduate degree was in computer science?
Yeah, it was.
So how was that? Because I absolutely hate math. Like, and I think that kind of scares some people away from IT a lot. Like they have this idea that, if you're going to get into IT, you have to, be this crazy super coder that, absolutely loves calculus and, you're seeing equations flying by and all that jazz. So do you feel that helped prepare you for that? Like what portions of your computer science degree do you feel like has been beneficial for you?
So I think that the most beneficial part is that it helps you learn how to solve problems. So no matter what I'm doing, I feel like I can figure it out. I can figure out what the solution is, troubleshoot through it.
Yep.
But outside of that, what I'm doing right now, it doesn't really help at all because mostly what I'm doing is just like I said, I'm the main engineer on the system. So anything with the software that's going on that's not acting right, I'm the one that's fixing it.
Yep.
I do the sysadmin work, so that's another thing too. Since it's only 4 of us, there is no sysadmin, so I am the sysadmin. So I'm doing both of those kind of jobs. So I mean, honestly, my internship from when I used to do help desk probably helps me more now than any time before. Yeah.
So do you do like networking stuff too?
So most of the stuff that I do, so I do like cybersecurity scans, but it's not that involved. Like I do the scans and then somebody else actually analyzes it.
So you're talking like Nessus type of stuff or
Yeah, I used Nessus for the first time. Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, I used Nexus for the first time.
Okay.
So so it's different, and that's what's different from overseas is that like we had a actual not system,
like security
a sysadmin.
Oh, system. Okay.
Yeah, well, sysadmin. Yeah, sorry, got caught up there. Yeah, so we had an actual sysadmin overseas, and they handled everything from users, account management, anything networking wise, making sure that our unclassified and classified networks are okay, our communications, TAC lanes, all of that. They handle that. So now it's all on me. So that's the only part that's different. But when I was overseas, we did cross training. So anytime he left out, I did the backfill for him.
Gotcha.
I could talk about how I was a software engineer. I was a software engineer.
I mean, if
2
you want to
years.
kind of how you did that transition is probably kind of interesting, I would assume.
Yeah. So when I graduated, I started out as a software engineer. I was doing embedded software engineering, C++, some Java whenever they wanted me to make a
Did you
front-facing
have one that you
interface.
enjoyed more than the others?
What out of the programming
Yeah,
languages?
yeah,
I actually like Java more,
yeah.
but yeah, because honestly, what it was when I was at VCU, we mainly just learned Java and Java only. So the only reason why I got the position that I had straight out of college was because they weren't really looking for, the best software engineer. They were looking for somebody who was going to fit with their team.
Sure.
So the team that I worked with out of school, they were very laid back, not super. I don't want to sound bad, but like not super nerdy, just very laid back
Sure.
people. So they wanted somebody who would be able to just come in and fit in with the team because it was only five of us. So
A bit more human.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was only five of us, and it was pretty good. It was a great learning experience. I felt like I was in way over my head as soon as I started
Yep.
because I was coming in coding a radar. Like I had no
Holy
idea
crap.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea. I came straight from college, and they just threw me into like coding a radar. They told me about what they were working on, but it really just didn't hit me. I wasn't that big in radars. It was challenging.
So that actually brings up a really good question, and that is to get into the government work, did you do an internship to end up getting like a security clearance? Is that kind of the path that you took to do that? Because
Yeah.
that's a
Yep.
pretty cool way that a lot of people don't think about as kind of a pathway to being able to get into the government side of stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the easiest way that a lot of people overlook or they're just not aware of.
Yeah.
So my first internship, that's where I got my first security
Yeah.
clearance. I was 18 years old, so I was doing help desk interning there, and I worked there for about a year and a half. And after that, I ended up doing Air Force Pathways program. So I got that
I'm not
position,
familiar
and
with that. What is that?
so Air Force Pathways is basically the Air Force internship program,
Oh, okay.
and you can go into the program and you start out. It's based off of your credits, how many credits you
Mm-hmm.
have. So when I started, I was what was I? Was I G3 GS3?
GS3? Okay,
I
yeah.
was. I think so. I was very low, and
I mean,
people
yeah,
they were just
that's
like,
about as low as you can go. Like,
yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, so I either started as a GS3. I think it was a GS4
okay,
because I vividly remember when I went to go get a cat card.
yep,
Somebody, one of the admin people at the Deer's office, they were just like, "I've never seen a GS4 before." So they're like, "I didn't even know it existed."
yeah,
So yeah, you come in based off of your amount of credits, and
okay,
as you complete your coursework, they actually give you a promotion. So I got promoted to a GS5
sure.
before I graduated. Yeah, and so I was up in Boston. It was basically doing system engineering work, but they didn't. They only
Like
let me do it so much.
out of Hanscom?
Yes, I worked at
Okay,
Hanscom Air Force Base. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
whenever
How'd
I
you
go home,
know?
I always drive by there.
Yeah. So I was at Hanscom, and I'd never been to Boston
Yeah,
before. They gave me my offer, and they told me I could come up there. My housing wasn't provided or anything, but they did hook me up with somebody who was already working there. So I just lived with her and rented a room out.
okay,
So it was pretty good. I worked there for a year and a half, and then after working with them, I got an internship with an actual government contractor. So
okay,
I got
gotcha.
an internship with it.
So
Yeah. Yep.
sorry. So was that like a thing that they do for folks only when they're going through their degree program, and then they make a decision or they make you an offer like, hey, you graduated, you now have a 4-year degree. Here's a GS10. You're a computer
Yeah, that's
scientist
exactly
now.
how it works.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. So you don't start as a GS10, you would start as a GS7.
Okay.
And then they have another program as well, which I was accepted into, but I decided to take the position with the government contractor instead. It's called the Air Force PAC program, PAQ. I don't
Okay.
remember what it stands for, but But the Air Force PAC program essentially allows you to get your master's and
Hmm.
you get paid your full salary. You don't have to go to work. You
Okay.
go wherever the school is that you want to go to.
Yeah.
They pay you your full salary, and you do the master's program full time for 2 years. And
Oh, that's
then
awesome.
it's a great program. And then while you're doing the program, you're still getting bumped up automatically every
Oh,
year.
okay.
So after
Yeah.
your first year, yeah, you move up from a GS7 to a 9, and
Yep.
then a 9 to 11, and
Yep.
then 11 to 13. And then at 13, that's when you actually start having to compete
Did they
for it.
make you
And
do a certain amount of years after that? I mean, so is that the idea? Is
yeah,
you're going to be a GS employee for a 2 or 3 year contract or something like that?
yeah, that's exactly how it worked. I believe you have to do 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
after you finish.
Yeah.
And that was the main reason why I didn't want to do it, because they were trying to place me at Langley,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
Langley has no locality pay.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No locality
When you
pay.
say Langley, you mean the Langley that is down in Virginia
In
Beach?
Hampton.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Hampton, yeah, Hampton, Virginia. Yeah, Langley Air Force Base in Hampton. There's no locality pay.
Yep.
So my starting salary, even though I would have been going to school full time, my starting salary would have been around 35,
Yeah.
37,000 a year. And I was making more than that at my internships.
Sure.
So there was like no way that I was going
Yeah.
to do that. So yeah, I decided to go with a government contractor instead.
So, how did you, or what benefits were you able to take advantage of for grad school? Was there anything that kind of made sense to make that a little bit easier of a path?
Yeah, so with the government contractor companies, most of these companies out here, like the top ones, they will pay for your master's.
Hmm.
So the company that I'm at, they pay $10,000 a year.
Oh, awesome.
So I've been in this program for almost 5 years now.
Yep.
So so they pay $10,000 a year, and there is really no limit on it.
Okay.
As long as you're in the program, and as long as you are making at least a B, they'll
Yeah.
pay for the class.
Okay.
The limit is just the 10,000 per year.
Mm.
So
Yeah. And then do you have like something that some companies have, others don't, is like a certain period of time that you have to continue to work for them, and if you don't, then you have to pay a prorated amount back to like
yep.
cover the cost of the classes.
Yeah. So my company, we have that as well. So from the time that you finish your last class or get your reimbursement,
Yep.
you have a year to work with the company. So
Oh,
if you
that's
don't
not
work
bad.
for that year, it's not bad at all,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, that's really my clock for
Yeah.
me. From once I finish in May, I
Yeah.
have one more year after that. So yeah, so basically you just have a year, and if you don't do the year, then you have to just pay back whatever it is that you owe.
Yeah. Yeah. When I did mine, I had a 18-month commitment, I
Mhm.
think. And luckily, I ended up finishing grad school and still worked for them for a few more years before I moved on.
Right.
But yeah, that's always one of those things that you kind of want to point out to folks when they go to take any type of educational benefits from a company,
Yeah,
is
read the
knowing
fine
what you're
print
really signing
always.
up for at that point,
Yeah.
because you don't want to end up, because if you were to stack that in a certain way, right, that could be a lot of money that you might have to pay back, depending upon
Right.
or at least that you weren't
What you're
expecting to
doing.
have to
Yeah,
pay back. Yeah.
exactly. So you definitely have to watch out for it. But like I said, luckily with my company is literally just the past 12 months. So everything I did before that, I'm good on that time. But it's just like, so I took some money from last semester. So if I left, within a year after taking that reimbursement, then I'd owe them what they paid me.
Yeah. Now, have you done any certs?
Yep, yeah. So to do the work that I do, to be an engineer on these systems, you have to have the Security Plus certification.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, but my first cert was the A Plus certification, and I got that when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What pushed you towards doing that at 16?
Honestly, my dad,
Okay.
yeah, he wanted me to get my CCNA, but I was a kid, so I was
Right.
like, I don't do that much work. So I didn't do it. So basically how it is, I went to high school in Loudoun County. I don't know,
Yep.
a lot of people probably don't know that, but yeah, I went to high school in Loudoun County, Virginia, and we had a vocational school where you could go there and you could learn, like welding and
Yeah.
shop, IT, baking, stuff like that. So they had two different IT courses that you could take.
Okay.
And one was for networking, CCNA,
Okay.
and then the other one was for learning how to, just basic help desk, really.
Sure.
And you got your A+ cert. So, like I looked at it and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go with the A+ course because it seems pretty easy. I already know computers.
Right.
Like I was already building my own computers back then, so I was like, this should be pretty easy for me.
Yeah. So I live in Loudoun County, and
Yep.
the kids, their schools here are ridiculously good. Like,
Yeah, they're the best schools in the entire country.
yeah, to the point where like I'm like I don't know why anybody would send their kids to a private school if they lived here. I mean,
It's really no point.
the STEM curriculum is ridiculous. It's amazing. So
Yeah, I could only imagine what it is now because when I was there, when I was in school, everybody went to Thomas Jefferson Technology. So they would bus kids to Thomas Jefferson
yep.
um, because all we had was Monroe Tech. So that's where I went to, Monroe Technical School. But yeah, I could only imagine what it is now. Loudoun County, I mean, it's one of the richest counties and it's
Yep.
one of the best school systems out here. So I mean, I can only imagine. I did take one of the computer courses when I was in high school, but it was mostly like we were learning how to do web pages and websites and stuff.
Yeah. So your dad pushing you towards that, was he in IT in the Air Force?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he does IT. Yeah, right now he does. I can't remember what it is. He does like something with penetration, not penetration testing, but it's something similar to that. I can't remember exactly what it is that he does now, but when he was in the Air Force, he did IT and he has a ton of certs. So he just, got a bunch of certs while he was in the Air Force. He got out and then he started working for government contractors and, he told me about it.
I would definitely be interested to know if you can find out what his career field was in the Air Force.
Yeah, I can ask him.
Because there's only a handful of IT career fields,
Hmm.
especially a few years ago back when he was probably in. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool to find out.
Yeah. He retired from the Pentagon in what year was it? 2001 or 2000?
Okay, yeah.
2000, I think
I went
it was.
in 2003, and I was only in for 4 years, so 03 through 07.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Hey,
short.
that's all you need. You have
Yeah,
the
no,
benefits.
that was it. And I was here the whole time. So I was over
Really?
at Andrews, like over in Maryland. So
Hmm.
I lived in Prince George's County for a little bit, for like 3 years, and then up in Silver Spring, like my last year. And then was like, I can't move
Well,
back
that
home.
was
There's
a
no jobs there. All the jobs are here. It's like, okay, well, I
yeah.
guess.
I mean, people think that I'm lying when I say all the jobs are literally in the DC area. If you want to be in like cyber and you
Yep,
want to be in tech where you're doing work where you'll get paid a lot of money and you have a lot of job security,
yep,
pretty much all the jobs are in the DC area.
yeah. And kind of the other nice thing is like, yeah, the traffic does suck around here, but there's enough IT corridors that kind of go off of the Beltway in different directions. You could
Mm-hmm.
just be like, okay, I'm only going to work in Reston and Chantilly, or okay, I'm going to work up past Rockville, or if you live close enough to DC, then you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to work in DC, and then you don't necessarily have to do those crazy
Be
commutes.
in the traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, I'm from the area, so I know where to commute from, where not to commute from. So, I
yep,
mean, for me, it was pretty easy just to figure out, okay, where should I commute from? But when I first got out of school, I was commuting from Capitol Heights, Maryland, all the way to Fort Meade, which kind of sucked because,
yeah,
yeah, BWI Parkway always has an accident.
yeah.
Uh,
It's
always has an accident. I hated it.
anytime that I have to travel up that way, I try to avoid it as much as I can, especially coming from all the way over in Northern Virginia. It'd be enough
Yeah,
where you're
it's
just
pretty
like,
far
man,
from you.
I'm just gonna get a hotel room. Like I don't even want to deal with this.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So if you don't plan your commute right,
Yeah.
you're gonna be in so much
Oh
traffic.
yeah. Yeah. And then you get those people that are like, I want a huge house and I'm gonna go move out to West Virginia. I'm like, okay, that's
Mm.
cool. How long is your commute? They're like, well, it's like 2.5 hours each way. Like, no, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
how you
I
live
know
like that.
somebody.
That quality of life just sounds rough. You don't get to
Yeah,
enjoy
I know
it.
somebody who commutes from what is it, Charleston, wherever is it, Charlestown or Charleston, whichever wherever the casino is in West
Uh,
Virginia. He
Charleston
commutes from there.
or
Yeah,
Charlestown.
Charleston.
Is it? Charlestown, West Virginia. Yeah, races and slots. Yeah.
Yep, there we go. So Charlestown, he commutes from Charlestown all the way to Springfield.
Oof. That's hitting like a whole bunch of bottlenecks.
Yeah, like every single one.
Yeah.
Route
every
7,
every single one. Yeah.
every single one, literally. Route 7,
Yep.
495, everything.
Ugh.
So it's bad.
So you made a really good point, and that was about this being a great area to like get into the jobs, because there's so many of them. Which people could also then take that and leverage that once they get a foothold in the companies that are here to then more easily move to other areas in the country once they're part of that company. And I,
Yeah, yeah, people don't realize that. That's literally what I did. That's how I went from the States to overseas. I've been with the same company for over 5 years now.
yep,
I have not left. All I do is go onto the careers website,
yep,
look for whatever position I want, wherever I want it. I apply. I call the hiring manager, literally give them a phone call,
yep,
tell them, hey, I'm interested. I've applied. Here's my resume. And that's usually how I do it. It's pretty easy. People
yep,
don't realize these companies are they're what is it? They're global companies,
yep,
so they're
yep,
all around the world. They're not just only in the U.S. So if you want to move around the U.S., you can. If you want to go overseas, you can.
yep. And I would assume it's cheaper for them to move somebody internally than it is to spend the money on recruiting. And, if they're using headhunters, the fees on those are pretty high. And
Yep.
then whatever else you have to negotiate into get somebody to move to a certain location. If you already have somebody within the company that is looking to move, you know, your company's in DC and they want to live in Colorado and you happen to have contracts in Colorado, that might be, easy to do that for them.
Yeah, definitely. And then, I mean, my company, they even paid my relocation.
Oh,
I got a
nice.
$25,000 relocation package when I moved from Virginia to Texas.
Oh, wow. How's the food down there?
It's good, but I don't really like barbecue. So,
Oh, no.
you know,
Oh, it,
everything's barbecue, and I'm not a barbecue fan. And when I first got here, I actually
of
got food
any of
poisoning.
any barbecue or just Texas barbecue?
It's any barbecue. I'm not a fan of sauces. That's really the
Yeah.
thing with me. I don't like sauces. I don't know if you saw my tweet. I'm like dry rubs better than
No, I
sauces.
completely
I
agree. Dry rubs is much better. You never know what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
getting
I
with
mean,
a
I think it has
sauce.
more flavor. No, you don't. And I mean, I just think that dry rubs are better.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm not really a huge barbecue fan. Like, I'll eat a pulled pork sandwich, but really, that's about it.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people use sauces to hide meat that they didn't season well or is
Yep.
dry or any of the bad things that you can do to barbecue. They just dump some sauce on it. It's like, no.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So I'm not really a fan.
now, the food in this area though is awesome. In
Yeah, the food is amazing
in the
in Northern
DMV
Virginia and the
in
DC
general,
area.
uh, I
Yeah.
don't know if people sleep on it or whatever, but pretty much any type of food that you could possibly think of, or even if you don't even think about it, you might not even know that you want it, but it's here and you're probably going to find it. So
Yeah, definitely.
if you're kind of adventurous and you're willing to try whatever, I don't know. I haven't found a place that has so much different types of food kind of in such a condensed area. I'm sure New York City probably is comparable, but
Yeah, but they don't have the seafood. So, well, there is one place in Harlem that is really good. I don't remember what it's called, but
from a
it stays
seafood
open till
perspective,
like Yeah, yeah. It stays open till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and you can just go in there after the club and you
Yeah.
can pick out all the seafood you want and
Okay.
they boil it, season it however you want it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to figure out what it's called, but it's really
Okay.
good.
I mean, I grew up on the ocean, so I'm kind of I don't know.
You're from Maine, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, ocean fish. I will give, Maryland does the crab stuff, and that's their thing. I honestly don't like the small crabs though. I prefer.
Which ones? Oh, you like bigger crabs? You don't like the blue crabs?
No, it's too much work. It's too like okay, I get it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
We're gonna sit at the table. We're gonna put down all this paper. We're gonna get some mallets. We're gonna smash the crap out of some stuff. My hands are gonna smell like crabs for like a week. I like Old Bay. I like the seasoning, but it's just like it's an awful lot of damn work for not that much crab meat. So I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
a ton of work. I would always like batch it. I would break down like 10 whole crabs and then
Yeah.
eat. I would always wait. And everybody's like, why do you wait? Because it's too much work to
Well,
like
yeah. Yeah.
break down one crab and then eat it and then break down another crab and then eat it.
Now I'll crush a crab cake. Like if you make a good crab cake, yeah, I'm down with that. That's good. I'll definitely do that. Uh, Wegmans surprisingly has a good crab cake. I would have never thought that. But like,
Have I had it? I haven't had it. I think I had their like lobster mac and cheese, which was okay.
yeah, that I think
It was okay.
you have to. Well, first off, you have to have a very very good mac and cheese. Otherwise, it's a waste. But yeah, so
Exactly.
they make like uncooked um, crab cakes, right? And they sell them like in a container about that big with like four of them, and they're like about the size of I don't know. They're bigger than a baseball. They're good size. So, oh, they're decent. They're not like the best I've ever had, but for something from a grocery
Yeah,
store, you're like, okay, those are pretty solid. But I don't know. It's not the same to me as like going back home. And back there, we could get a 3 lobster dinner for like $25 off season.
wow.
So
Yeah, I've never seen any cheap lobster,
no, not down here, not at all.
but
So that's
I
why it's
didn't see any cheap one in Boston either.
no. Well, Boston isn't really known for lobster though. Like it's
I don't know what they're known for. I would get the lobster rolls though.
um Boston really doesn't have that good food, honestly. I'm sure people are gonna be pissed off about that, but whatever. They don't have good food. They have like somewhat decent Italian food because there's like a large Italian section in Boston. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they do shrimp rolls and clam rolls, but those aren't as
They
good
do
as
the lobster rolls. I had one that was really good.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you what the place is called. I'd have to look at my photos,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, they were pretty good. But they were super expensive. I think it was like a $25 lobster roll, if
No,
not 30.
that's a Boston markup, is what that is. that's
Yep, that's exactly
that's
what it
not
is.
the real. That's not the real price of that. And I don't think that they actually get the lobsters down there anyway. I think they get them from Maine. So
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah. The places that I go, the lobster rolls. I'll send you a picture. Is like I don't know. I mean, that's kind of hard for you to see how big that is,
Oh
but
yeah, that's pretty
I mean,
big.
like
But I mean,
it
it's
at
big.
least
I
will
mean,
be
people are like,
two whole lobsters worth of meat on the roll. So
oh yeah, that's pretty big.
and only $15. So, but it's one of those
Yeah, you
places
gotta tell me where to
where
go.
all the people in the summertime always go there, so the line could be an hour and a half long. So whenever I'm up there, what I do is I wait for it to rain because then the tourists won't go out in the rain, and then I just go and get my lobster rolls. It's easy.
Your parents still live up there?
So uh my step parents moved away to Wisconsin about
Mm.
2 years ago. Kind of random. My sister still lives in Maine. My grandfather actually used to live. He lived in Maine. He retired. He moved up to like the Canadian border in New Hampshire because he's like big into fishing, like fly fishing and stuff like that. Um, and then he's like 91, so his health isn't that great, and he moved back down to Maine, close to like a hospital. So he's back down there, and then my uncle and grandmother they live up in Burlington, Vermont, which is beautiful if you ever get the chance to go up there. It's right on Lake Champlain. Really cool little tiny city. It's probably like the Austin of Vermont, I guess. Because it just, I don't know, you get kind of that, a lot of artists and stuff like that, and kind of like a good combination of different types of food and all that stuff. So try to get home as much as I can, but with COVID and all that stuff, it's been, haven't
Been
made
pretty
it
hard,
back
I'm
since
sure.
January. So I don't know. I don't know when I'll get back up there. Hopefully sometime soon, but you kind of have to play it safe and see how it goes that way.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. What has kind of been like the impact of friends and family on your career? I mean, obviously you talked a little bit about your dad kind of pushing you towards IT. Have you had like other influences like that, or been an influence like that to other folks in your family?
Oh, me to
Yeah.
other people?
Yeah.
Not really. Nobody else has gotten into tech.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
not a single person.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, not really. I don't really influence anybody in my family in tech. Actually, no, that's a lie. So my cousin is overseas now. He actually worked for the same company as me,
Oh, awesome.
and I told him exactly how to get overseas, and he's been in Kuwait for over a year now. So he got his first
So
contract like
did you
a
get to
little
add him
over a
to
year
that
ago.
list of the 100K folks? That
Yeah, I did. I did
awesome.
add him. Yeah, because he was working in Boston, right?
Okay.
So he was working in Boston doing cybersecurity up there. And
Yep.
I told him, hey, I mean, you might as well go overseas. He's already in the reserves. You might as well just
Okay.
go overseas and make more money.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. I got to get through this glass before the end of here.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking. It's Glenlivet. Let's see if I can get this on here. Glenlivet, Caribbean
Oh,
Reserve.
yeah.
So,
I've never
um,
heard of it. It's a little small bottle.
yeah. So Glenlivet's one of the, I don't know, probably 4 top whiskey or Scotch vendors, I guess.
Hmm.
And they had it in a small bottle, and instead of me buying a whole bottle of it because I hadn't tried that yet, I was like, that is a perfect
Yeah,
opportunity for me to, pick it up,
try
see if I
it.
like it. Normally, I don't know. That's kind of one of those things, especially so like Brandon is super into like all the Macallan stuff, right?
Yeah,
And I'm kind of the same way with that. And
I hate
I
that stuff.
yeah. So it's
I absolutely hate it.
always doing research and stuff on, all these different flavor profiles and what, tastes good and, stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
always
I
willing to
actually think I
try.
might have had it.
Which one?
That drink that you're saying that you're
Oh,
drinking
okay.
right now, I might have had it with Brandon when he came here to Austin. Like
Okay.
we went to this one bar
Yeah.
down on Sixth Street, and we went through like 2 or 3 bottles worth of alcohol there, and it was to the point where we were just well, they were just saying, just bring us whatever whiskey you have, any whiskey, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. They weren't really stocked up on alcohol because I think most people that go to that bar drink beer, so.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Um, the Macallan tasted watered down. They probably had that bottle open for maybe 2 or 3 years. It
That's
was
funny. He
it was
mentioned
pretty
that.
bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was just up here. We had dinner like a week or so ago. And you guys are all doing like a dry 2 months or something. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Oh, he's actually sticking to it.
He was. We went out to this awesome restaurant, and he told me ahead of time. He's like, "Yeah, I can't drink." And I'm like, "All right, that's cool. I respect that. I won't drink either. We'll just, get dinner and stuff like that." I mean, he wanted to, but he didn't. So you gotta appreciate that. He stuck to
Good.
it.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Um.
Yeah, we're dry for the rest of 2020.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I don't know. You guys picked the wrong time. You should have went dry starting of the year. I'm like, you're gonna hit all these holidays, and
I had to stop. I was
yeah,
drinking entirely too much. Like so when I went out with them,
yep,
it was just bad. It
yeah,
was it
wow,
was all bad. Like I said, we went through literally 2 or 3 bottles of alcohol. We were getting 2 shots at a time. They were just ordering, just telling them, "Oh, bring whatever, just bring 2 shots." And it was just crazy.
that's
So
too much peer pressure.
that Yeah, way too much peer pressure. And you can't turn down a shot. So
Right,
it
right.
was just so much. It was so many shots. And then a couple weeks ago, I went out with my friend, and we had an entire bottle of Crown Royal, and
Oh
I
man.
was just hungover until
Yeah,
4 p.m. It was just me and him, really. My
yeah,
fiance, she didn't drink any,
yeah.
so it was just us drinking this entire bottle of Crown Royal, and
Oof.
it was just all bad. And I was like, you know what? It's time to go dry. I said I was going to do it. The time
Yeah,
is now. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I wish you luck with that. That's pretty good. I actually, as much as I love collecting this stuff, I probably only drink maybe like once a month, twice a month. It's just like I collect stuff that seems really interesting, and I'll drink it more like if I have somebody over, right? I'm like, hey, you got to try this out. This is pretty cool. But as far as me
Yeah.
actually like sitting down and drinking stuff, like we're having a conversation, so this works out as a good excuse. But and I don't drink beer. I hate beer. Like
Me too. Yeah, I don't drink beer either.
it
Never.
it reminds me of coffee for some reason. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, like the darker, like ales and stuff like that. I don't like coffee that much, so it's either coffee or it has no, stuff that's lighter like Heineken and stuff like that has no flavor whatsoever. So it's like I don't know. I don't. I'm like, what's the point? It's like drinking bread or something, and it doesn't even taste all
Yeah.
that good. At least drink something with some higher percentage, and at least maybe it will get interesting. I don't know. So, do you have any other things that you want to talk about or plug or anything like that? You got your book, you got your new coaching stuff that you're doing, four goats and a mic.
Yeah, yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Yeah, okay. So mainly I want to plug the group coaching program that I'll be launching. It's called Success Life Society.
Yep.
So with that program, my main focus is to help people get to making six figures. And if you're already making six figures, increasing your income through passive income and reaching financial freedom. So that's SLS for short.
Yep.
And people can join the wait list at join.successlifesociety.com. And of course, I have my book, Financial Starter Kit, which is a financial literacy book, and it comes with a it comes with a money allocation spreadsheet and also a financial starter kit checklist, which helps you get ready with your finances and just like be able to see a full picture of your finances. Um, I'm renting out bots now. I don't know if your audience know about bots, but basically bots, they allow you to check out sneakers and items. Like as of right now, a lot of people are using bots to buy
PlayStation.
Xboxes and PS5s. Yep. Yeah, they're using bots to buy those. So if you ever need a bot, you can reach out to me at my handle. You can just DM me and you
When
can get a
when
bot from
you
me.
offer those up, is that like a
Mhm.
monthly rental of a bot? Is that kind of how that
Yeah,
works?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a monthly rental on a bot. So a lot of people don't know bots are really expensive. Like
Okay.
my most expensive bot costs $6,500.
Okay. So,
Yeah. So
do you host those in like AWS or something or
no, no, I actually don't. So the way that these companies have them set up, they're very involved with Discord. So they're
okay.
basically binded to my Discord account,
Okay.
and so like nobody can actually take it. So really, it's just sharing keys. So I just give somebody a key, and then once their time is up, I reset it, and then the next person has it. But only one key can be logged in at a time.
Okay.
So once somebody's logged in, nobody can take that session from them unless I
Gotcha.
restart it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how it goes, and it's a monthly rental. Um, and then I also have my defense industry guide, just like how we talked about today. It literally has everything that somebody needs to get into the defense industry. So whether you want to do tech or project management or electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, anything like that, security, I'll teach you how to do it in my guide. And then it also gives you the exact companies to apply to, and it tells you exactly how to get sponsored for security clearance. But the big thing is you cannot be a felon. So if you have any felonies, it's not going to be for you. And if you're not a U.S. citizen, also not going to be for you.
Unless you
Um,
get married. You can get married.
oh, yeah, yeah. If you get married, then it'll be for you then. So
Yep.
they gain citizenship when they get married.
Yes, they do. Not
Okay.
immediately. It takes a few years,
Mhm.
but that is a pathway to do that. I think it's normally like 5 years total from the time that you get married, you get a green card. I want to say that you got to keep that for like 2 years or something like that, and then you're able to apply for citizenship, and then it takes a few years longer than that. But if that is
Okay, well, that's good to
an
know.
end goal, then that could be a market that's worth looking at.
Yeah, that's definitely good to know. So, like I said, you can find the Defense Industry Guide at www.defenseindustry.guide. And what else I have? I have Giftize. So that's my app where you can download GIFs and videos from Twitter. And you can find it on the Apple Store, Apple App Store. Supposed to be coming out for Android shortly, so
Cool.
be on the lookout for that.
Awesome.
And
I will
if
put
all those
links
links were too
for
much,
everything you
yeah.
mentioned. I'll put links in the description of the video once I do
Okay.
editing and stuff. So if anybody's
All right, great.
running for a pen or pencil right now, they don't need to worry. I'll put them all down there.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, and if you ever want to join me on Instagram Live, I do these Finance Fridays
Cool.
Instagram Live videos where we just talk anything money related. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I definitely would love to have you on there one day.
Yeah, I could talk about the whole starting a business and running a business, especially a business that's into contracting and stuff like that. There's a lot of
Right.
interesting things that
Yeah,
could be helpful to other folks that want to go down that same path. So, yeah.
for sure, for
I
sure.
appreciate you coming on. It was great finally being able to get a little, in-person conversation and stuff like that. So I will hit the end of the record on this. So that wraps up our chat for today. I hope that was useful and helpful. I'm going to drop all of Beez's links in the description down below. That way you can go and check out all of her content. Thanks again for checking out this new episode of TCP Handshakes. If you have certain individuals that you would like me to sit down and have a chat with, drop them down in the comments down below. And as for the other videos on the CyberInsight channel, if you have new topics that you are interested in and would like me to talk about, put those down below as well. As always, smash that like, subscribe, notification bell. Go get at it. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye.